Hey guys, welcome back to Team Player Gaming. Today I want to talk about something that a lot of people have been complaining about. The remaster preview. There's a couple of complaints I've seen over and over and over again online, and I thought I'd give my 2 cents on these complaints. Let's get into this. But before we get started, I do want to let you guys know that I will be streaming Rage of Elements on the 5th of August at 1 p.m. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Now let's talk about the complaint I've seen the most, which is that cantrips are being nerfed. The main reason that people are saying that is because of the differences between the ignition spell and the produce flame spell we know now. Yes, the ranged version of ignition is a bit of a downgrade from the produce flame we know now. It actually does less average damage. However, it actually now has a melee version, making it much cooler in my opinion. Because that is actually a buff over the original produce flame. Especially for classes like Magus and other melee casters. But produce flame was never used for its damage. It was used to hit weaknesses. That's the bottom line. To me, these comments seem to be from people that think that damage is everything, which is hardly the case in Pathfinder 2e. I say this all the time, but yeah, it is 100% not all about damage. Spellcasters have never been about how much damage they can do. It's about controlling the battlefield, hitting weaknesses, stuff like that. I mean, if you want pure damage, then you're better off going with Electric Arc. I mean, granted, if these people are right and damage on cantrips is being nerfed, then Electric Arc will be nerfed too. But we don't know that yet. The only damaging spell we got in terms of cantrips from the remaster preview was Ignition. So we really don't know enough yet to tell whether they're nerfing cantrips or not. In fact, I believe there's a spell in Rage of Elements that completely flips that on its head. Needle Darts is actually a spell from Rage of Elements that does way more damage than some of the other cantrips we've gotten so far. So no, I don't think they're nerfing casters at all, even when it comes to damage. The other thing is, you gotta look at the Figment spell that we got in the preview. Yeah, that is a huge upgrade to Ghost Sound. I mean, being able to create illusions and sound illusions is a huge upgrade. So I absolutely do not think that cantrips are being nerfed at all. It's not just about damage, everyone, especially not for spellcasters. Spellcasters have never been about just damage. That's the difference between D&D 5e and Pathfinder 2e. Not just about damage. It's about nerfing your opponents and helping your team out. I don't know where these complaints are coming from. But in the end, we don't know enough yet about the spells in the remaster to really make any generalizations yet. I said before, we only got one damaging cantrip from the remaster. So, we cannot make generalizations on that yet. The other thing I see a lot of is complaints about them removing the 8 schools of magic. The main complaint I see on this is that they're technically limiting down the amount of spells that you can take for your bonus spells if you're a wizard. But in all actuality, I'm all for this, because this actually gives us more choice, believe it or not. Wizards are going to be more like clerics now, and we all know that clerics have a ton of domains to choose from, and that allows them to have all kinds of different focus spells. The same will be true of wizards now. Also, in my opinion, the other thing that this lets the designers do is come up with much more interesting feats for the wizard. Right now, wizards have some of the most boring feats in all of Pathfinder 2e. Period. I mean, yeah, you've got your meta magic stuff, but those are available to other classes. And other feats are like, oh, you can use your bonded item more, or you can get more focus points, and that's just boring in my opinion. But with this, like for instance, let's say we're talking about the School of Battle Magic, which we know is a thing. What if they came out with a feat that was just for wizards of the School of Battle Magic that allowed you to change the elements of your spells to better hit weaknesses? That would be cool as heck. I mean, think about it. That's the kind of thing they could do with this. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, they could have done it for the School of Magic as we know them now, but it's much easier for them to do it and make it balanced with these rather than having a huge amount of spells from each school. There's about 150, 160 spells for each school right now. But narrowing it down actually gives more potential for the wizard to be a lot less boring. And, the document says your GM can add other spells to your curriculum if they strongly fit the theme. Which there are a number of spells that could be put in the School of Mentalism if your GM allows it. And the other thing is, those are just the bonus spells that you can pick from. You can still pick other spells for Wizard. That means Wizards can still be as versatile as they have been, maybe even more now. That's the bottom line. Alright guys, that's it for me. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, and don't forget to check out the descriptions below for the links from my Patreon as well as my social media. If you guys haven't seen my video on the new and updated spells from the remastered preview, you can check it out right here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, teamwork is vital.